Joining me now is Florida Congresswoman María Salazar. She's a member of the Foreign Affairs and Small Business Committees. Congresswoman, good morning.
Good morning to you from Miami, Florida.
I was going to say, it feels like back to school today, except it's for Congress. Everyone coming back to work today. We're looking forward to the new session. So let's first talk about this news from our own Chad Pergram. He confirmed this morning that Kevin McCarthy is going to tell you and your colleagues today that he is open to an impeachment inquiry. That's the next step. Your reaction?
You know, like when you said back to school, it's like, let's see what the principal has to say in the auditorium. Yeah, listen, I'm very open to hear what the Speaker of the House has to say about the Biden family. Things that, you know, I'm in Miami, Florida. We're Republicans, and we know that in this country, we don't have two sets of laws. So if President Trump is going through the court system, I think that Hunter Biden should be facing the same destiny. We are in the United States. We're not a banana republic that, you know, some politicians are treated one way and the others are treated the other way. So I'm more than open to hear what the Speaker of the House has to say about the Biden family.
So there's two kind of tracks that are happening right now. The continuing resolution, government funding is on one side, and then the impeachment inquiry on another. Some members are going to be more prone to push for the impeachment inquiry. Others are going to be concerned about funding. I know that you can walk and chew gum at the same time, but it seems that there's a shift in priorities between the two. Kind of which side are you on right now? What's more important to you of those two things?
I think at this hour we need to be thinking about funding the government in a responsible way, showing the American people that we in the government, we need to do the same thing we're asking our children and our family members to do. Don't spend more than you earn. And why the government can do what the average American family cannot do. It's so simple. We need to fund the government, and we need to do it in a responsible way. We have a wish list, but that wish list cannot be fulfilled. We have to make more money in order to spend more money. Yeah. That's simple. And we need 12 appropriation bills that we need to pass in regular order. It means that each one should be voted on and do what we promised the American people. Let's spend less because the debt grows. It's not difficult to understand. It's just difficult to do.
Debts and deficits are certainly something that many Americans understand at their own kitchen tables. So, yes, many are looking for fiscal responsibility from Congress. That is a very true statement.
And our kids.
Yeah. And what we're leaving to our kids.
We tell the kids, hey, you cannot spend. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we can. You can. Tell my two daughters, you cannot spend more than I give you a month. You have to wait until we get to the 30th. Why can't we just do the same thing? And this fighting for the right to be wrong. No, we want to spend more. We have to raise the debt ceiling. Stop all that nonsense. Let's be responsible as a country. And that's why with the Republicans, that's the message we're sending.
You're preaching to the choir here. I do want to ask you, the Small Business Committee is going to be holding a hearing at the end of this month about recouping stolen pandemic-era loans. Can you talk more about this to us?
Yeah, it's very simple. You know, there was an investigation by the Inspector General, I wanted to say it correctly, and he found that $200 billion were stolen. People went to Cancun and to the Bahamas instead of investing, or to the casino, instead of investing that money into keeping their small business open. $200 billion. That's what the Inspector General within the SBA, the Small Business Administration. Then you have the administrator, Mrs. Guzman, saying, oh, no, it's not $200 billion, it's only 36. But wait a minute, your own guy is saying that it's $200 billion. So why don't we investigate where that money is? Oh, no, they're bickering among themselves instead of saying, let's open an investigation and nail those who stole the money. Yeah, because that was stealing money from the taxpayers, $200 billion. I don't see the Biden administration taking strong steps in trying to find where that money is and punish the thieves. Easy, simple concept.
I agree with you, and we call it a clawback in investment circles. This could be the biggest clawback in history. My colleague Todd Pyro's on set with me. He's got a question.
And Congresswoman, this is less of a question and more of a suggestion, even though you won an election and I have not. I would like to ask the following question at this hearing. All those IRS agents that you hired, why not on day one assign them to this task, to claw back that $200 billion, and then, they can go after the middle-class American taxpayer making under $400,000, even though Joe Biden said that they wouldn't.
And I agree with you. And that's why the average American watching this news says, I am not really very happy with government. It's incredible. It's embarrassing that the president's administration, regardless of the political party, is not worried and is taking strong and decisive action in finding $200 billion that were just given away to people that just stole them. And we, in the Small Business Committee, we are more than willing to go out, but we need the Biden administration desire to fight with us and look for that money. But they're not. They're saying, no, we don't know. We want to. It's $200 billion from the taxpayers. So we are here, the Republicans, we're here trying to fight for those taxpayers' rights. $200 billion, but they say it's only 36. So it's a $160 billion difference.
And that is why you were elected to office, per Todd's point. I'm
trying to do my very best.
You're doing a great job. Now, you are pushing a bill to provide educational materials to students to help to teach them about the dangers of communism. This is something, this is a cause very close to your heart. Can you tell us more?
Of course, I represent the city of Miami, the heart of the Cuban exile community. Don't we know what socialism means? And we are very concerned because 1/3 of Americans, according to the latest polls, believe they do not know, I should say, that socialism and communism, it's the owner and takes hold of every private property in the country. I think that 1/3 of millennials and Gen Z think, I should say the polls indicate that they think that communism and socialism are good. 1/3 of our kids believe that socialism, I think they may think that it's social media. And this is like venom to us. This is evil, unfortunately, because our constituents lived it. My parents lived it. That's why I'm Cuban American, first generation, Nicaraguan Americans, Venezuelans. We all know what that beautiful fantasy looks like. So it's great on practice. It's great on the theory, but it's very miserable in the practice. So what I am advising, and I presented this bill, is to create a curriculum for middle and high school students for them to learn it with empirical evidence. It's not that I think or I believed what really happened under communist regimes. I'm talking about Stalin. I'm talking about Mao. I'm talking about Fidel Castro. I'm talking about Hugo Chavez. I'm talking about everywhere in the world, for us to educate our middle and high schoolers, for them to understand what that ideology brings, which is misery and exile and poverty. And it robs everything away from you, from the human being. And look at Cuba, look at Venezuela, look at Putin. It's all over. But the problem is that we're such a great nation that we're not teaching our children. And that's what my bill does. Explain what communism, socialism really means. And don't have them drink the Kool-Aid like some of my colleagues in Congress have. They have drunk the Kool-Aid, the socialism Kool-Aid.
Yeah. And her name is AOC, and she's my congresswoman, unfortunately. Congresswoman María Salazar, always great to speak with you, and we will see you this week.
My pleasure.
Thank you so much for being here.
Long live the United States. Long live the United States. Best country on earth.
All right.
We're not